There are only 8 teams left in the fight to win the 2026 World Cup, and one of the big matches of these quarterfinals is between Argentina and Switzerland. A match with a lot of history, unforgettable memories for both fan bases, and a spectacular prize, a spot in the World Cup semifinals. This match will be played at Kansas City Stadium, one of the great venues of this World Cup, where a spectacular turnout is expected with tens of thousands of Argentine fans and a significant presence of Swiss supporters. The match is scheduled for Saturday, July 11, and it will be the last game of the quarterfinals. Argentina is coming off a hard-fought 3-2 win over Egypt in a truly great match. Lionel Scaloni's team once again showed that they never give up and that they have the resources to handle the toughest moments. Switzerland, for its part, is coming off one of the biggest upsets of the round of 16. They eliminated Colombia in a dramatic penalty shootout after a goalless draw during the 120 minutes, confirming that they remain one of the most solid defensive teams in the tournament. In addition, this match has a very special historical component. Many will remember that unforgettable Argentina versus Switzerland match at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, when a goal by Angel Di Maria in the 118th minute avoided penalties and qualified the Albiceleste for the quarterfinals. 12 years later, both teams meet again in a World Cup with another ticket to the semifinals at stake. But now, what happened 12 years ago doesn't matter anymore. The group stage doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got here. In a quarterfinal, there's only one reality. If you win, you're just a few games away from being world champion. If you lose, the dream ends. And that's exactly why millions of fans are looking for the same information. What time does Argentina play against Switzerland? In Spain, on the Peninsula and the Balearic Islands, the match will start at 3 a.m. on Sunday. In the Canary Islands, it will start at 2 a.m. In Portugal, the ball will start rolling at 2 a.m. In Argentina, it will start at 10 p.m. on Saturday. In Uruguay, Brazil, and Paraguay, it will also be at 10 p.m. In Chile, Bolivia, and Venezuela, the match will start at 9 p.m. In Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Panama, it will start at 8 p.m. In Mexico Central Time, the match will be at 8 p.m. In Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, it will start at 7 p.m. In the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, it will start at 9 p.m. If you're following us from the United States, these are the times. East Coast, New York, Miami, Orlando, 9 p.m. Central Time, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, and Kansas City, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, Denver, 7 p.m. West Coast, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle, 6 p.m. In Canada, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal, 9 p.m. Winnipeg, 8 p.m. Calgary and Edmonton, 7 p.m. Vancouver, 6 p.m. So now you know. Make sure to check your local time, because we're about to witness one of the great matches of the 2026 World Cup. Argentina wants to keep defending their crown, while Switzerland is looking to pull off another historic upset and reach the World Cup semifinals. Block 2, where to watch Argentina versus Switzerland, TV channels, and official platforms. And now, let's get to the question fans are asking the most. Where can you watch Argentina versus Switzerland live? If you are in Argentina, you can watch the match completely free on Telefe. In addition, it will also be available on Tiki Sports, D Sports, and the DGO platform, which will offer special programming several hours before the start, with live coverage from Kansas City, tactical analysis, possible lineups, and all the latest updates on Lionel Scaloni's team. In Switzerland, the match can be watched on SRF, RTS, and RSI depending on the country's language region, as well as on the official platforms with broadcasting rights. In Spain, the match can be watched completely free-to-air on Televisión Española's La One. It will also be available through RTVE Play to watch it from your mobile, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Additionally, it can be followed on DAZN, which continues to offer extensive coverage of the 2026 World Cup. In Portugal, the broadcast will be handled by Sport TV. In Mexico, the match can be watched on Canal 5, Las Estrellas, TUDN, and VIX. In the United States, the match can be followed in 2 ways. In English, on Fox Sports app and Fox One. In Spanish, on Telemundo, Peacock, and Fubo. Fox will offer special coverage of the match from Kansas City, including pregame, analysis, and full broadcast. In Canada, the match can be watched on TSN, CTV, and RDS. In South America, in addition to D Sports and DGO, it will also be available on the main national networks. In Chile, Chilevisión, D Sports and DGO. Uruguay, D Sports and DGO. Paraguay, Tigo Sports, D Sports and DGO. Brazil, TV Globo, Sport TV and KCTV. Colombia, Caracol Televisión, RCN, D Sports and DGO. Perú, América Televisión, D Sports and DGO. Ecuador, Teleamazonas, D Sports and DGO. Venezuela, Televen, D Sports and DGO. Bolivia, Red Uno, Unitel, D Sports and DGO. In Central America, the broadcast will air in Costa Rica on Teletica, in Guatemala on Chapin TV, in Honduras on Televicentro, in El Salvador on TCS, in Nicaragua on Canal 10, and in Panama on RTC, RTC TV, and TVN, and in the Caribbean, countries like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. You can follow the match through D Sports, DGO, and the local operators with broadcasting rights. After going over the schedules and TV channels, it's time to dive right into the match. Possible lineups, individual matchups, and tactical keys for this Argentina versus Switzerland game. Argentina could go with their usual 4-3-3, although Lionel Scaloni also has the option to change the system during the match and switch to a 4-2-3-1 or even a 3-5-2 if they need to protect the lead. In goal would be Emiliano Dibu Martinez, one of the Albiceleste's surest assets in knockout matches. The defense could be made up of Nahuel Molina at right back, Christian Romero and Nicolas Otamendi as center backs, and Nicolas Tagliafico at left back. In midfield would be Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, and Alexis McAllister. A trio that brings intensity, pressure, quality in build-up play, and presence in the box. Up front, the big question is how Scaloni will set the team up around Lionel Messi. One possibility would be to use Lionel Messi with total freedom starting from the right, accompanied by Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez. Another alternative would be to use a wider winger, moving Lionel Messi inside and using only one of the two forwards. Switzerland, on the other hand, could stick to their usual 3-4-2-1. A system that's very difficult to attack when the team manages to keep their lines compact. In goal would be Jan Sommer. The back three could be made up of Manuel Akanji, Nico Elvedi, and Ricardo Rodriguez. At wing back, Sylvain Widmer would play on the right and Michel Aebischer on the left. In the center of the field, Granit Xhaka would be the main organizer, accompanied by Remo Freuler. Up front, Dan Ndoye and Ruben Vargas could move between the lines, while Bril Embolo would play as the center forward. The first big key to the match will be the space that Messi finds between the midfield and the Swiss defense. Switzerland will try to completely close off that area. Xhaka and Freuler will have to be very alert, while Akanji might step out of the defensive line to prevent Messi from receiving, turning, and connecting with Julian or Lautaro. But be careful, because if a center-back leaves his position to follow Messi, Argentina can immediately attack the space that is left open. The second key will be patience. Switzerland knows how to defend very close to their box. They don't mind giving up possession and waiting. Argentina will have to move the ball from side to side, avoid rushed crosses, and not get anxious if the goal takes time to come. The duel between Julian Alvarez and Akanji will also be fundamental. Julian is not a static striker. He moves constantly, drops back to receive, presses, and runs in behind the center backs. That mobility can disrupt the Swiss structure. Switzerland has order, discipline, and an enormous ability to push matches to the limit. And in a quarterfinal, a single mistake can decide who gets a place in the semifinals.